Hi, this evening I was going to talk about um, articles claiming that Stephen Miller is a Goebbels. What's his face? Goebbels, I forget his first name. From Hitler's propaganda guy, his right hand man. Which I'm like, well, I mean, the thing is, I've been, looking at everything from the perspective of the rise of the Fourth Reich. It's coming in through with this background. I put in the bowl for the bullshit. With the rise of the Fourth Reich, yeah, this is like deja vu. And in fact, we had paperclip. So you had all of the scientists that came in under the wire and then went to work for the CIA and build up the CIA, where the FBI is also flourishing. What could possibly go wrong? And then you had all of these Holocaust survivors coming in. One is Ria Eisler, and she's been calling for a paradigm shift of the power of partnership instead of the power over. I mean, but giving speeches from a podium when nobody's listening, all popping their pharmaceutical, their Xanax. I mean, everybody walks around with their bag of pills. I'll sit there sometimes with these ladies and be like, hey, you guys talk about drug addicts on the streets? Like pink, blue. I can't even keep up with all the different names. I'm like, yeah, no. Uh, so I just one of my favorites is Nancy Reagan's daughter. She says she used to sit there with her mother when the commercials would come on Just Say No to Drugs, which with her mother there in the commercial. She would say, Mom, you should listen to that. Because she was in the pharmacy cabinet of her mother, always counting how many drugs she had popped. Oh, this was, I think, in the day of the Valium was the go-to at that time. I forget. Um, I'm like, you guys, really, if you need to, you need to zen down. I'm medical marijuana all the way. I mean, oh, this was one I know my siblings don't want me talking about this one, but, and this is going to be a real good one for the medical marijuana and HHS. Bobby Kennedy, would you please start listening to me? Because when we found out at the end, when my parents went into the nursing home and my father was on very elevated levels of lithium, and he had been for a long time, and I mean, I was like, God, can we please get him on my, because this was, and I mean, my father was one of the top cardiologists in the world. He knew the danger of, you know, lithium, particularly long term for the heart. So I was fit to be tied. Because I mean, if I had been for boys, if I had been able to get my global expats, my husband didn't want to kill me back in 2006 when I started the company, and um, if I had had if I had had some help instead of everybody wanting to stab me in the back and sabotage, my husband's breaking into my computer, um, hacking in that, sabotaging the project, right and left. It's like, excuse me, any of you entrepreneurs out there, you think this is just like free trade. Oh, you want to play that game? I'm in there. I have to agree with. Oh gosh, yeah, Trump. He made another gaffe at the funeral. But it is Trump, and I mean that's how why people, Trump is so popular with people, and I think Charlie, yeah, would is looking down at Trump going, yeah, I know, okay, Trump. When he said that he could not be kind and he couldn't love his enemy and he hated his enemy and he wanted his enemy, and that he couldn't be kind like that. So Trump is how shall I say, a product of his time, a product of his family, I guess. But I guess good Lord sent him here for a reason, because we are in a pickle, and I guess this is what we need at the moment. So the issue is we got to keep him in check. So anyway, I saw, as I said, I was working on this. I still have some work to do, and I'll hopefully post that tomorrow, about Stephen Miller. Is he the new Goebel? Sort of. The thing is, if he listen to me, we can change the power over to power of partnership, as Rianne Eisler has been calling for. Let's just put it that way. So what really pissed me off, I was on my LinkedIn account, in the postings, in the chats, there's this, and this is another thing. I mean, I've been doing the Charlie Kirk stuff on LinkedIn, particularly on LinkedIn, not really on Facebook. I mean, I'll post my stuff on Facebook, but I don't really engage. I do on LinkedIn. I mean, I don't have that much time, but I do try and post something. I mean, I particularly pissed off. You can go in, Rita Smith, the head of the president of the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. Yeah, I respond to her stuff, and that'll get into this, as well as Leslie Morgan Steiner, who is also, one of her, I guess her first book was Crazy Love. This is about her domestic violence case. Quite frankly, I have to agree with some of the men. When you hear that case, you're like, lady, if he sticks a gun to your head the night before you're getting married, he's like telling you what this is going to be about. So, like, this also gets into this, what is it, E.G. Carroll or whatever, the Carroll woman with Trump. I mean, that whole story, it's like, wait a sec, ground floor, Bergdorf Goodman's, help me pick out a scarf. Fine, no problem, innocent, asking you up to go up to the lingerie to pick out a thing. This is pretty much uh, where the whole thing's going. Now, if you're not interested, by this time, like, and also, I mean, come on, Melania, this is 101, play hard to get. You don't give them your number. You say, give me your number and I'll call you. You go up to a lingerie department and then go into a room and there's nobody in the department, and go into the dressing room and go and try on this stuff. I mean, ladies, some decorum, please, and some common sense. I mean, what is a man supposed to think? And I mean, God, who would want to go after that crazy woman? I mean, men, come on, a little brains. So anyway, so this is LinkedIn, and that's really basically, I mean, as I say, a lot of it I'll post occasionally if I'm doing something then on economics, but that's basically where you'll find me. But the thing is it's exhausting, because it's there are so many social media influencers, and and this is what we need. I need, Elon Musk. We need another Doge here, and we can do this. My God, I saw this with the big data challenge at the IMF in 2015. I had wanted to do that, so I know I don't know from the back end. I don't know how to do all this computer programming stuff, but I understand enough of what's going on to potentials of how it can be, and applications, and how we can, okay, do this for me, do that for me. Get your little kids out there, that they only, this is the problem, they're just computer programmers. What you do with the stuff, um, you know, that depends on other people. So this woman, she's freelance consultant and trainer, CEO, Safer Together. Okay, so I looked at this. What is this Safer Together thing? Ah, our mission: create, nurture, and sustain a global network of domestic abuse, inform professionals and organizations working to improve systems responses to domestic violence when children are involved. Our goal: achieve a complete paradigm shift in the way domestic abuse is approached by systems when children are involved. Oh Lord, I saw that and I'm like, God. Okay, so this gets into, I mean, I am at the top of knowledgeable about what is going on in the domestic violence industry and at the international level. Um, in a nutshell, I mean, you can go into Taking Back America for the People, my website, and then the American Abroad Act, and there you can get I give this explanation to one of these idiots up on Capitol Hill, these staffers who just sit there. Oh, actually, I don't. In that video, I don't think you hear her very well. Oh no, but on the activism website, it's fine. But anyway, in the other videos, the deep state, I had some technical difficulties. So anyway, I'm like, Oosh. Let's see this guy. So then it's run by David Mandel. I look up David Mandel, and it's a producer in Hollywood of no other. Um, oh, what is that? Curb Your Enthusiasm with RFK Jr.'s wife. I'm like, what? No, okay, this is another David Mandel, but it is David Mandel, it's the same name. So anyway, this is a David Mandel. This is in Australia. So 4.7 billion funding, not enough. Let's listen to what. Oops, come on. Global organization that runs training programs for professionals working in child protection, the family court, and intersecting agencies. He joins me now from Connecticut, where I understand you are listening on to that announcement from the Prime Minister. What's your initial reaction? Thanks, Dan, for having me. More money is always needed, and it's probably not going to be enough given the scope of the problem. But it's really heartening to see the investment that's being made across Australia in this really critical area. And part of that has to be the language the Prime Minister was using a number of times, referring to this as a national crisis. What did that say to you? Well, it is. It's one of the largest issues, not just in Australia, but in many countries. And you only just need to look at not only the deaths that have happened recently, but the data like the Australian Child Maltreatment Study that says that the most common maltreatment that Australians are exposed to, almost 40%, is exposed to domestic violence. So we're looking at it. I know there was a prioritization of children and young people, but that really says something at a population level that this is a really common experience of children growing up in homes with domestic violence. So it runs the range of the extreme events of femicide, murder of children in the context of domestic violence, but it also ranges to just everyday experiences of so many children and so many families to be exposed to domestic violence perpetrators' behaviors. And I want to put to you directly, David, the comment that the New South Wales Premier, Chris Minns, said that this is a Oh, gosh.
More change. The massive element, he said, is cultural change. And he really reiterated that point. Did that resonate with him? Is that the crux of this challenge here is around a lack of respect for culture?
I think it's a huge issue, and I think that in the work we're doing, and so we work across Australia, we've got numerous dozens of partner agencies. We have people delivering our training in Australia. We work with the Federal Family Court for the last 3 years around their systems and the changes they want to make around this area, which is good and really important. And what we see in Australia, we see it in New Zealand, we see it in Japan, we're working, we see it in North America, in the United Kingdom, that one of the things that when we talk about culture change that doesn't get enough attention is that when we're talking about cases of domestic violence in kids, that a lot of the response is shaped by mother blaming and what we call father ignoring. And I just, this was the topic of a recent book that I put out, which is that we have such low expectations from men as parents. And that doesn't mean that a lot of men aren't great parents. But when it comes to domestic violence, it's really hard to hold men accountable for the harm they're doing to the kids, which is so critical to child protection, so critical to family court, because the wider culturally held ideas is, men babysit their own kids, for instance, and we don't expect men to do day-to-day care, but their behavior impacts day-to-day care. Their behavior impacts their kids' health and well-being. So when you combine that with low expectations from men, and you combine that with higher expectations from women as parents, when you get closely across all these systems, shared by many of these systems, is a lot of mother blaming for the damage that the male perpetrators are doing to their children. And that significantly impacts the taking of children, particularly from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander families, through child protection, and it impacts outcomes in the family court.
And just finally, you touched on this, David, a little bit about some of the work that you and your team have been doing across institutions. Can you just tell us about Safe Together, what it is and what you hope to achieve through it?
The Safe Together model is a globally recognized model that really tries to work to keep children safe and together with that protective care, which is usually the mom, and to help systems partner with those survivors, align with their protective efforts, because you get survivors who do tremendous work to keep their kids safe, keep them on the right track, keep them going to school, taking that day-to-day care, parenting in a foxhole, basically, and we need to look at that person as our biggest ally on the safety of the kids. We need to honor their efforts. We need to partner with them in practical, real ways when we see their strengths, and we lift them up. Because that's not only important to them, it's important to their kids. And so the Safe Together Institute, that's where the name comes from, keeping kids safe together with that protective parent. And this model has been picked up by really diverse organizations from the Ministry of Health in New South Wales to, like I said, the Federal Family Court, to the Department of Communities in Western Australia, could go on and on. They're looking to apply this to their day-to-day work with families. And so since we've been in Australia for 10 years, but over the last 5 years, we've trained about 15,000 professionals in Australia in the Safe Together model, bringing them into this common framework and language, producing really important results for families.
Okay, so I mean, like, oh, another one. Yeah, these models. We've produced this model. This whole thing. I've seen it. I don't know how many times. Um, and I'm sure you can find some people and somewhere along the way, some people that it's helped, but most of it, 95% of the money and benefits are going to the people who work in this whole pyramid, because as you saw, you have this Safer Together. They're going to have a whole bunch of people they employ. They're working with these government agencies, and I mean, believe me, you know one of the things that got me through my case in Spain and my divorce in Spain was that, I mean, Amnesty International Spain estimated I had 1/4 of 1% chance of survival. But I went, first off, I mean, my lawyers, first everything's being covered up there. My lawyers, I mean, I get one lawyer saying, oh, well, since you're French and he's French, all of this has to be translated into French, and this is going to be have to do under French law. I mean, like, and then even another lawyer in the neighborhood was like, well, that's bullshit. They're just looking for money. These are the big law firms in Madrid. Another, and actually, I think he would, he's the only one in the world I think I would recommend anybody to. His name's Jesus Prado in Madrid. I don't know if he's probably retired by now. Um, but then also he said, because for him, I mean, he had a whole bunch of immigrants in his office. This was not one of the higher priced ones. This was but I found out, and now I know why my ex was so concerned that I had gone to see him. He knew because he had a detective following me. I mean, I was furious. I was like, don't tell me he's spending money. If you guys, I want, you can have a beeper on me. I go, I'm sure the detective was like, shit, buddy, all she does is go to the gym and the library. They hacked into my computer, cut my computer down. So when I wasn't at the gym, I went to the library and it went to their computers and internet system. I told the girls, the women at the front, they knew what I was researching because I was like, what the frick is going on here? This is 2007. So there's not as much on the internet, but there is. And I'm in chats. I even tried to contact, it was, what was her name? Is this Denise Brown, O.J. Simpson's wife? The sister? She had this was at the time of the O.J. Simpson stuff. And I even went, so I go to the nonprofits, mujeres separadas, divorciadas, all of the domestic violence people, basically. And I'm like, I need a lawyer. I need a lawyer. Stop with the pamphlets and the this and the that. And see, this is their model that they have. It's all these pamphlets and these offices and people who will read you. They have a whole, you have the right to this. I mean, take your paper and shove it where the sun don't shine. And victims are getting, the women who, a lot of them are like, they want capital punishment. I mean, they're real pissed off. So, and I even went to Amnesty International because I'm reading their reports about what's going on, and they say, oh no, finally I get a letter from them saying, no, human rights violations only happen in Darfur and Sudan. Like, you people are crazy. So I knew, because I thought I'm going to get to the United States, and they're going to be, oh my God. And I'm going to my consulate, the Americans and the French, and they're not doing, it's like, screw you. This is just a divorce. I'm like, no, he wants to kill me. And they're blocking all of my money. My friend, my neighbor, Anne Gerard, she's French. Her father's, he's a producer in the movies. And she's like, they can't do that. They can't do that. I'm like, Anne, they're doing it. I know they can't do it, but they're doing it. This is totally crazy. And they are trying to say that I'm the one who's crazy, but he wanted to lock me up. I mean, this, it's in the paper. I mean, it's in the court filings. It's there what exactly who was trying to do. They didn't get that. Then the tactic was have me locked up in prison. Now, Maria Jesus Carrascosa, she was sitting in prison in New Jersey, and I had read the book. By the time I bought the book and read the book, well, okay, Maria Jesus says this was not the official story. Oh, well, that's a whole other case. But 8 years she sat in a New Jersey jail and waiting. I mean, that was a shit show. And the judge was up a creek without a paddle because it lacked standing in cause. And I still don't know if Maria Jesus was ever successful in suing New Jersey after she got out, but I knew, and I knew if they threw me in prison, I wasn't getting any. I'd disappear. And my family and everybody would just forget about it. Oh, yeah, she disappeared, killed herself, whatever, you know. Suicide in prison, we're all familiar with that one. So anyway, go back to this. I mean, so this, but what is, you know, this is where the money is going. So here, this is what pissed me off. There's a photo of Erika. It's huge. Let's link post. Uh, so yeah, so here it is. Nikki Holmes. We all associate Andrew Tate with perpetuating harmful, toxic, misogynistic messages, but there appears to be a new brand of misogynists on the block. Their messaging may appear to be less overt, but it's no less insidious. In fact, I would argue the Tradwife narrative promoting regressive messaging around domesticity, traditional gender roles, and subjugation, all concealed with a sweet lipstick smile and wrapped in scripture, has the potential to cause even more harm. I'm like, this starts out, I'm like, you little witch. This woman's grieving for her husband, and this is what you're coming out with. And you're supposed to be a domestic woman. Let's help her. Oh, see the sympathy. So many parallels can be drawn between the manosphere and messaging peddled by Tradwives. One such parallel is the fact that the misogyny they promote nets influence millions. Take Erika Kirk as an example. Despite her clearly promoting that the role of women is to be a wife and mother, your heart has to be fully in the home. Yet just days after the death of her husband, she stands as the new CEO of Turning Point USA, a multi-million-dollar corporation that is gathering traction by the day. Wearing an angelic white suit, spouting the word of God, does not negate the level of harm she and others like her do to the feminist movement and the quest for gender equality, all for their own financial gain and platform. Okay, I want to stop there for 1 second because this is something that I'm seeing that I think is very, very disrespectful. Everybody who knows me knows that I mean, I've always said I was agnostic. I mean, I do believe in God. I just, how shall I say, I didn't believe, I felt that all of the different religious institutions, and this is all of the churches, Muslim, um, Christian, and Jewish, and, Hindu, all of those have been used more as tools of oppression but that's not because of the tenets, but rather the interpretation of the people. But God is always capitalized. I'm sorry. And that's very, very disrespectful. I mean, it's like in English, we capitalize I, right? Always. Um, so that's very disrespectful for anybody who's doing that. And I do think that, people who see that, see something, say something. I've been using that one for almost 20 years. Remember, see something, say something. It was for the bombs, but I keep on saying it goes both ways. And that is the problem. This is why we're getting more and more violence, because nobody wants to deal with any unpleasantness in polite society until they get a bomb blows up in their face. So education about misogyny and the sources of harm and maladaptive influence must cover the latest threats and harms. Whilst I'm sure many will criticize me for my critique of a woman in grief. See how she says I'm, she capitalizes her I there. What? Does she think is better than God? I think so. It's a problem. All these little witches think they're God. So, whilst I'm sure many will criticize me for my critique of a woman in grief, yes, there are many that will, I refuse to be silent or suppress my rage that women like Kirk are undoing years of work women and men who are allies have done to being about change that benefits us all. This is such a load of crock. I was just listening Isabel Brown about Bobby Kennedy and the autism and Tylenol that they report that they, and she's attacking that, and she's like, we will look at evidence and follow the evidence. So let's look at the evidence because as I said, I mean, when I became involved in my own case, just like everybody else who goes through the court, unless you, of course, know somebody who'd already gone through this. But, for the majority of victims of the courts, um, particularly if you're a domestic violence victim and you're afraid for your life, and then all of a sudden you have to deal with the courts re-victimizing you and saying it's all in your head, it's all in your head. I mean, I had read a report, an article on the internet with a woman who had drowned her children. This is in, I forget, it was Norway or Sweden. So this is 2007. Um, so somebody can look it up. But it was a woman who had drowned her three children and failed to commit suicide because she had lost custody. And somebody posted on there, oh my God, some woman just loses custody and she would kill her children just because she lost custody. And a man posted, he said, wait a sec, what's happening is the courts are handing over children to abusers. And somebody goes to this extreme, it's because the children would be better off dead. So this is also gets into, I am pro-life, um, but I'm also, one of the things that really angers me most of the time, the people that I know who are pro-life, my cousins, one particular, I think so. Um, so, like close to home and farther away, everywhere. These pro-lifers, yeah, the unborn child, what about the born child? Or what about women fleeing for their lives? So, double standards on all of that. This is why I'm against capital punishment, I, any of that. So, this whole thing of undoing years of work that have about being about change that benefits us all. No, this has only been because the feminist movement has completely degraded the rights of women and children in family courts. And so just from a perspective of common sense, okay? Because we can get into hours and hours and hours. I've been trying, let's get on a podium. We can discuss this, all of these different human rights, human rights, human rights. I mean, I'm furious with Carrie Kennedy here and LGBT rights with her human rights nonprofit. I'm like, excuse me? Look around. You're promoting rights for everybody except homemakers. Homemakers are denigrated and treated like Erika Kirk here. And, and I mean, every single report that you read from the development community, the family is the foundation of society. Women are the center of that. I mean, it is just this kind of bullshit. So I put up my bullshit bull. Just is just infuriates me. So you can there's all sorts of reports, that shows, and books. I mean, I have, let's go into, I have to drop this for everybody to see here. Where is this is my activism website. Here we can go into the bibliography of the books that I've read. And this I haven't updated for a long time. But see, you know, Justice and Gender and Family Court. Where is it? Supreme Divorce from Justice by Karen Winters. There's another, Glenn Greenwald. Oh, don't get me started with him, and Megan Gelly. Two peas in a pod. Um, so I mean, and I've actually read all of these books. Oh, Eric Bowling, I saw his face pop up again. Yeah, he got a letter from me. See, there is Shadi Remix over at the IMF. I want to see her in court. So let's see, relationship. Oh, here's Patty Davis. So anyway, I've done my homework. When I got involved in all of this, I was like, what are you people doing? This is absolutely crazy. Because when I got the United States, instead of, oh my goodness, we're going to help you with Spain, no, welcome to the club. So there was some comments in here. Let's go back to this one because I had okay, so this is a Coral Anik Felt or something. I mean, I see her all the time. Oh gosh, I want you. I see her all the time, and I believe she was at the Battered Mothers Custody Conference where I gave my speech in 2015. I mean, I did it on my work on violence against women as human rights violations, and we have two jurisprudences on that. The first one is 2011 Gonzalez Linehan versus USA. That was the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. The lead counsel was Carrie Bettinger Lopez, who then was the expert and advisor to Joe Biden when he was vice president. So yeah, it's like, woohoo! She got her jurisprudence and then she gets a job. This is another part of the scams and the human rights. I mean, I'm all over the place with a Mal Clooney on those issues. I'm like, excuse me, Amal Clooney. I'm so sick and tired of you women promoting that it's a Middle Eastern problem, so you get support for all of your wars. That's the bottom line with all of that money, and that's been had trillions. I mean, you want a book deal and a nonprofit that will say how horrible the Muslims and the Middle Easterns are. Oh, they will throw money at you. You say, oh, but we got the same problems in the United States. Oh, you're canceled, and they want to kill you. So see the double standards. Um, so anyway, she was there, and during my marriage, I was required to be a helpmeet in a world like the one from Margaret Atwood. I mean, helpmeet labor markets are inundated with jobs that Tradwives used to do. Event planning, cooking, cleaning, running kids around and everything. I mean, this whole thing that you're a useless idiot and submissive because you're a homemaker. I mean, it is just, that is misogynistic. That's where the misogyny is. The bullshit. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? This socialite, the trophy wife, you are the most liberated person in the entire world. Your boss? I mean, the one who has I mean, and this is in traditional societies, because when we worked on the farm, this wasn't an issue. So this is really something of the industrial and urban era. This is very, very new. So like we're dealing with a new ball field, if you will. So anyway, this whole idea, I'm like, wait a second. If I don't, with my husband, I'm like, no, no, if I disagree, I'm going to tell you I disagree. And no, we're not doing that. You try and tell that to your boss, he can fire. I mean, yeah, if you have an abusive, this is why, if you have an abusive husband who says, I'm going to kill you if you try and start this company, well, yeah, that is where you need to have your rights respected, not only by your family, instead of having your mother-in-law say, que sera, sera, your mother saying, que sera, sera, how much money can I get out of this if he kills her? That was my situation. My mother was always, how much money does he have? How much money do they have? Um, and believe me, this is the typical Capote swans, Machiavellian 101. This is the issue that kind of I have with Megyn Kelly with this whole thing. I mean, she is a Capote swan. Um, Tradwife, well, this is in the Tripping the Prom Queen. This is exactly what the author says. Susan Shapiro Barash, or Barash Shapiro, that she says the only thing the feminist movement has changed, kind of my synopsis, I don't think she would put it that way. The only thing the feminist movement has achieved is that instead of competition and aggression between women over husbands, mansions, material wealth, who has the biggest house, Mrs. Astor, Mrs. Vanderbilt, and children, who has the most successful children. And unfortunately, these days in the modern world, the modern era of the Capote swans, it is, does your children have a PhD, MBA, or $1 billion? Oh, excuse me, I forgot. Are they a successful actor? That's okay as well. Usually they'll be, well, they might not have $1 billion, but they'll be in the 100 millions these days if they're successful. So those are the criteria, and that's, if if you don't fit into that category, well, then you're not successful. So see, that's not progress. And so the other thing the feminists have added with upper crust women moving into positions of power in commerce and politics is now they compete for jobs, and they are ruthless about it in the workplace. Now I have doozies of lawsuits against the IMF wives, the spouses, for their backstabbing witchery, and that the IMF and the World Bank and the UN are being used as social climbing tools and to enter into the United States upper crust. And it's not just through the jobs, then they get the marriage. And then they snag themselves. This is Charmony Curry. This is a perfect example of, I mean, everybody was like, how did she become manager of ICD? This is the worst manager I've ever seen. I mean, this is a perfect example of what is wrong with the affirmative action policies that were started under Pacific Alliance. This was Kennedy administration, and Ingrid Betancourt of Colombia, her father was involved in that. She was a presidential candidate in 2002, got kidnapped, and then she was 22. Again, Green Party. Another who's getting in bed. Oh, she's buddy buddy with Sarkozy camp. Candace Owens. If we ladies could start working together, because this gets into the whole stuff about the Macrons and what's going on there and the trans stuff, and she's really hitting on some stuff, and there was some weird stuff um of uh, like goddesses, and look at Candace Owens. It was one of the last ones on the Macrons, but all of these goddesses and these cults, and this is important. I was reading about this again. This is the Illuminati. It's the Bavarian Illuminati, Skull and Bones, Bush family, and that started with Walker Bush. Excuse me, Walker. That was uh, Barbara Walker, Barbara Bush. That was her maiden name. So see, these are, and I keep on going. Cobham Hall. Cobham Hall. It's the great granddaughter of Kaiser Wilhelm and great or whatever of Queen Victoria. These families, there's the merry-go-round has just gotten bigger and bigger, and a couple more people have gotten in. But they're still going around in the same circle that's headed towards World War III. So, this whole thing of, is Trump the next Hitler? This is not attacking Trump. This is looking at the situation from an objective perspective, and everybody get off this thing of first Hitler being the worst person in entire history. That is just not the case. Not to defend him. Shall we say Trump is another Franco? Trump is another Mussolini? It was the same dynamics that's going on, and we have the same thing repeating itself. We have nationalism, social nationalist movements all over the world. So can everybody get off? Oh, you're just attacking Trump if you say, ooh la, we got another Hitler here. Is Marianne Seigart with her father. I think in the last one, I keep on repeating, her father, this was the lawful rights of humankind, the lawful rights of mankind. And I read about that in the last one, so I won't repeat everything. But s'oblige, la situation s'oblige. If we could move forward and have people starting to listen instead of repeating, oh, men are horrible and us women are the champions of women's rights and we've made so much progress. No. Oh, one of the women, she laughed at my remark because, let's see, okay, the trad wife phenomena has been gaining traction over the past few years, taking hold. Why? Because there's a backlash to the feminists, taking hold amongst young people. Yeah, they're not drinking the Kool-Aid anymore, as I found out through discussions with my teenage daughter. Erika Kirk has been handed a megaphone and more money to promote this blatant misogynistic lifestyle. Excuse me. Okay, more money. I just looked up how much the Turning Point has gotten since the beginning of 2014. We're looking at about more or less 500 million. Over there, it was, what was that? 4.7 billion for the domestic violence industry. Oh yeah, poor little Charlie Kirk had 500 million in a 10-year period, and look what he did. Now, this guy wouldn't go after fraudulent. I'd be like, "Ooh, I'll get you. You want some more funding? Let me go out there and find it. I'll help you, buddy." I mean, there's so much money being wasted. We can pay off all the debts and we can just and throw out the trash. So this is about money first and foremost. Yeah. It has nothing to do with womanhood, but it is our future generation of girls who will be impacted negatively in every way. I mean, see this. Why can't we get them in court and say, wait a second, these are total lies. This is lies, and these are dangerous lies. I mean, I have two sons, and I am terrified that any of these idiot women that they're producing, selfish, entitled, narcissistic. I mean, just generation after generation. And it's not, um, you know, it's not even good for the girls. But I mean, the poor men out there, I'm like, my God, I don't want my sons bringing one of these things home and this is going to be the mother of my children and the mother of your grandchildren. Please, no. I mean, I will fight to the death to not have that happen. So, this is my response. Okay, so this woman, Julie Richards, communication professional, creative, strategist, collaborative communications person. Okay, yeah. Need I go more? And she's calling Erika Kirk a gold digger? Oh, God. Julie Richards, this is completely false. And if feminists were so sure of themselves, they would not be targeting anyone who disagrees with them in hate crimes. I get targeted all the time. Victims of courts have submitted to international courts under human rights conventions. I welcome you to present your proof and argument to the courts. 66,000 women are killed each year by family members, while feminists laugh all the way to the bank. Look at, sorry, I was on my phone. It won't let me move laptop. So, yeah, I don't have capitals, and these are not totally full sentences. Anyway, look at Carrie Kennedy's role in her BF and sister-in-law suicide, Mary Richardson. Her mom, Ethel, was a monster, but cashed in for 55 years with her fraudulent RFK Human Rights nonprofit, which Carrie now heads. Carrie is like her mom, and Caroline is as much a tart as her Capote Swan mom. Check out Jackie's marriage contract with Aristotle. Tarts make tarts. Well, I stand by my words. So then we had, let's see. See, go on some of these things. It's the men who will come in and be, well, wait a second. And these poor men are totally innocent as to like they think they're coming into a civilized conversation. They don't know that they're getting into a hornet net. See, since this is online, if they were in a room with, they might see what was going on. Okay, so this is Matt McKenzie. Surely feminism is about a woman's right to choose, and choose is what she has done. Let's see. Should she just drop all the good work her husband has done with her at his side and let it be for naught? See, obviously this man has a wife, you know, who's doing her job, because a real trad wife, I mean, she is not a submissive little, back screen bimbo, um like, which I said, Susan Carlson, Tucker Carlson's wife. I mean, she's a St. George's graduate. What is this Tucker Carlson saying? Well, if they don't want me speaking at the school, then I won't. I mean, why isn't Susan with Tiffany Justice over there, Moms for Liberty, going, this is not happening in our schools? Not on my watch. No, she's sitting pretty. See, this is because of women like her that I'm targeted in hate crimes. And so I really am resentful of all of the prep school frat boys. I mean, particularly like the guys at the IMF. And when I was working in ICD, the Institute for Capacity Development, where Sharmini Curry was, everybody was complaining to me about the chaos in the place because they know I'm working on labor rights and efficiencies in government agencies. Elon Musk, please, would you answer my emails? And the whole Doge stuff. I even told people at the IMF and the World Bank today. I said, did you see the headlines about the escalator being stopped for Trump at the UN? And there had been some people, rumors that some of the little ladies over there were planning that when he was there. Oh, that was planned. Are you kidding me? Of course it was. As, I mean, I worked with these little witches for 7 years and I have pending lawsuits. And Carolyn Levitt, I'm not sure how you pronounce her name, but his spokeswoman, she's like, if this is true, then we're gonna find it, and these people should be fired. Duh, yeah, and it's going on in federal government agencies. Get on it, Janine Pirro. Stop ignoring me. Um, so anyway, let's see, Victoria Boyland. Oh, this woman, she helps. Let's see. I help women heal from anxiety, low self-belief, depression, childhood, And her response to Andrew Reynolds is, a trad wife and a CEO? Surely a conflict there. Excuse me? Her husband passed away. She steps up to the plate and you're criticizing her? I mean, and I help women heal from anxiety, low self belief, and depression. See the problem here? Okay, so then we get Catherine Wensley, where communication heals, training, coaching, mentoring. So let's hear what she's got to say. From a child's development perspective, I am fully in support of the woman's role to be in the home, or at least be there at the school gate after school. So many children get passed around while mom's at work. Thank you. See, somebody who I jumped the gun there. Okay, let's see. So Brendan Burton, she responds. Let's see, he said a lot of things. On Taylor Swift's engagement, submit to your husband. Taylor, you are not in charge. Doesn't sound like he's promoting a union to me. Oh, wait a second. Isn't Taylor Swift the one who's like always crazy dancing? Isn't she the one? Or am I mistaking that for somebody else? But I think she is. Yeah. If that's the same, hold on. Sorry, people. Yeah. I mean, how can I not know who Taylor Swift is? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe she's not the one who's crazy dancing always. Or maybe she is. But okay, let's see. Submit to your what? Submit to your husband, Taylor. The whole submit thing. I'm like, what about him submitting to me? So I mean, for me, it's a partnership, equality. You know, of course, men. This is why when it is a physical violence situation, although say this is with Mary Richardson. Apparently, she was physically violent with Bobby. Um, so, but men are physically stronger, and I mean, it's just not a fair fight. So, I mean, no man should lift his hand to a woman. Never. It's not a fair fight. If she is being absolutely impossible, just walk away. Just walk away. Call me. Walk away and call me. And I'll get on the phone and I'll tell her a thing or two and tell her, if you do not stop this, I'm gonna come. Now, I do not get violent, but I will know how to talk to her and set her straight. But as I say, so anyway, walk away and call me. Let's see. So see, there are some decent people in this. Personally, I don't believe in tearing down a grieving woman, no matter who her husband is or was. Oh, that's nice. Natasha McGraw. Really? Have you listened to her diatribe? Come on. Okay, let's see. I help entrepreneurs and families publish powerful books. Oh, well, thank you, Christine. Um, Maybe I should start reading these things from LinkedIn every night and start exposing some of these people. I don't know, I get some hits. Let's see. So, Linda Colley. This cracked me up because she like laughed at one of my comments. I think my comment before about the feminists. Let's see. So she's an gender equality advocate and researcher, adjunct professor. Oh, I'm sure she hates me. Let's see. I agree on all those things. The trad wife movement is dangerous and subversive and very hypocritical that its leaders are making a very good living by not practicing what they preach. See, one of the things that really turned everybody against me when with my divorce and my husband trying to destroy my business and my project was this jealousy that my husband had destroyed his career and we're financially dependent on him, and I'm not going to be able to go back into the financial markets, and I don't want to. I mean, even if I had wanted to, to get back into the financial markets and start making a six-figure salary and retrap like 15 years, I'm not going to do it and I don't want to do it. And I was like, no, I got an idea. Look, this thing will make $1 billion of revenues. It was one of the social media platforms for Tradwives. It's still a good idea and it'll still make a ton of money because guess what? These women spend lots of money. And it's not on going out to Givenchy or on the Riviera sipping wine like these ladies want everybody to do. It's going to the grocery store. Women, let's see, homemakers make 80% of consumer spending decisions. So, I was like, oh my God, this will make tons of money from advertising. We can do it, and advertising things that these women actually want and need. Yeah, they're not interested in $1 million yachts. It's like, oh, okay, well. So anyway, it's still a good idea. But see, this whole thing, I mean, what a little witch. What a little witch. So I responded, Linda, the feminists have completely eroded rights of women in marriage by refusing to recognize their property rights in family court and domestic violence industries. The trad wife is not the problem. Problem is the lawyers, judges, and court psychologists who defraud, I should have said who, defraud women of their property and hand children over to pedophiles. I did get low on like on there. Wow. So this is not in response to me. This is in response to Erika, Kirk, her her speech. Wow, this is cold. It's like she is leveraging her husband's death for self-gain. That's stone cold. You mentioned grieving. Is she? Or is she incapable of that due to her personality traits or conditioned behavior? I really question that. What turned my head was the social media videos she made next to her husband's open casket. That's not only wrong, but gross. I mean, so this is Chris Savvy, Citizen of the Year Award recipient, LinkedIn top voice. See, this is something that's got to be looked into. I know nobody likes me. Nobody likes what I've been saying. So I'm not going to say that my low, rates on YouTube or any of my social networking platforms is totally the fault of the platform. But I've seen some people and some platforms and also groups that are getting money that I'm like, wait a second, where's this money? All this. One of my favorite, and it's fascinating, but go on to YouTube. There's a whole bunch of like 2 and 3 hour long videos of the Neanderthals of 100 million years. What was the Earth like 500 million years? So they're very, very interesting. They're very long, sometimes too repetitive. It's like, and also it's like to sleep. They are to put you to sleep. And you do, I'll often fall asleep with them. And it's kind of like, I'm like, wait a second, is this some sort of like hypnosis type of messaging? Um, it's very, I'd love to see, because there's several different platforms, and I'm like, how much money are they getting and where is their money coming from? Everything now, all of this stuff. I've been looking at this, and it's not just mainstream media, it's everybody. It's all about whether you can get funding and backers. You can have the best message in the world, but nobody will listen to you if you've been canceled by your family and friends like me, and you're not liked by the algorithms. Okay, so I did like this banter here going on. So this is Jessica Christmas. Let's see, she's director, Eagle Street Legal Recruitment. Okay, I'm at war with the legal community, but I liked this one. Okay, Chris Savvy. As a mental health practitioner, I'd like to think that you could perhaps recognize that people grieve in different ways. Okay, so Chris Savvy responds, Jessica Christmas. I totally understand that, but I'm not posting here as a mental health practitioner. But I appreciate your feedback. Have a nice day. Oh, I mean, who is this guy? I mean, is this guy? Because Chris could be a woman. No, but I think it's a guy. Um, so Brendan Burton, the principal aim of psychotherapy is not to transport the patient. Okay. I mean, the psychologist and psychiatrist, ooh, that's been hijacked by Freud, but there's some issues there, but not all of them are bad. And we do have some real crazy people out there. So Chris responds to Brendan, actually, you can. Oh, because, sorry, Brendan says to Chris, that's not a cap you can take on and off of being a mental health practitioner. So, Chris DeBrendan, actually, you can. And anyone, regardless of profession, can have a personal opinion. And that's exactly what I speak here. And my opinion is based on observation of behaviors and posts I have seen. Okay, freedom of speech. But everybody else has freedom of speech as well. And quite frankly, if you're going to criticize some woman who is grieving her husband, what right? I mean, really, what right do you or anybody have to judge how she chooses to grieve her husband? And she had even, I remember, um on some place after her husband, some posting I saw or something, that she was going to make sure that it was a huge event. And as Megyn Kelly, I don't only a lot I don't agree with Megyn Kelly on, and she's one of these people who hate the trad women. And is the feminist, having it all feminist, who is the arch enemy of the trad woman. But she was like, Charlie would have loved that. That's what he was doing with all of his work and calling attention to this. I mean, just I when I saw that, I was just, God. I mean, I wish I could say it surprised me, because it didn't, but it was disgusting. So then we have Dr. Oh, okay. University lecturer, sexologist, Dr. Dassey. I think you don't pronounce the N. So Dassey, she's Middle Eastern. I'm not sure if Muslim or not. I mean, I think that would probably be more of a Muslim name than a Hindu name. But anyway, university lecturer on sexologist. What I gotta see which university. What is most shocking of all TPUSA movement's narrative is the targeting of young people, encouraging them to leave education in order to make homes where they can have more babies than you can afford. Okay, that's one of the things that I'm like, not more than you can afford. Let's get some economic stability here. Okay, even more sad is that universities around the developed world have opened doors to this movement, exposing people's children to the cult-like indoctrination under the name of faith, Christ, God. It brings to me the picture and shadows of history, even medieval, that democracy worked so hard to eliminate. Illiteracy, poverty, women's subjugation, and domestic violence that rear their ugly heads in such systems. God, you talk about a propagandist who, a university lecturer. I can barely get a minimum wage job, and they're throwing money at people, shit like this. Oh, God. Okay. Um, I am so saddened that in 2025, such a movement is celebrated by world leaders, despite the danger it poses to the future of our freedoms and our children, both boys and girls. All for what? Financial benefit of this dangerous movement? Okay, we got to see who this woman is. Let's hope this pops up. Here she is. Okay, Perth, Western Australia. Um, I think I have to, hopefully I'm not, I'm still learning all of this on Zoom. So yeah, so she is board member of SHQ Family Planning Western Australia, but okay, interest, causes. I mean, where is her, where she was educated, her skills, but that doesn't tell us where she was educated. I mean, is this person even a real person? Or is it, a fake account? Because she's only got 74 connections. Who's this Jess Hill? The Trap. Researching prevention and coercive control, University of Technology. An investigative journalist who collaborates with people to investigate issues around social justice, domestic violence, energy. Yeah, so see, this is another, I mean, this has to be looked into. All of these different people. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with freedom of speech, that this is not an issue of freedom of speech, but why are all of these people, they're given book deals, uh, jobs in universities, think tanks. I mean, this is one of my things with Tiffany Justice of Moms for Liberty. I was like, what, are you ignoring me because I don't have a PhD? And you're just trying to get on the board of, I forget, what is it? The Heritage Foundation, I think she got on the board. More power to you, whatever. I don't care. What I really want is to get global expats up and move on with all of the ideas there. That'll liberate women. I mean, the whole thing was, you know, this whole thing about liberating women. I was like, you assure financial stability for these women to provide for themselves, even if something happens to their husbands, and provide for their children and protect their rights within the home, family, and community, instead of, oh, if their husband's going to attack them and kill them, que sera, sera. Oh, you poor thing. Oh, you poor thing. I'll tell you, somebody comes up like to me like that, I'm like, you know what? You touch me, I think I'll slap your face. Oh, God. Okay, so here we got Richard Marsh. He's a social worker. Dr. Nazi agreed totally. Reads as a far right initiative. Okay, so who's this Dr. Richard Marsh? I think he's legit, maybe, but anyway. Um, and then this Bridget Holland, research management advisor at the University of Waikato. I don't know if that's in Australia as well. It's almost like The Handmaid's Tale and a true story. I mean, you know, again, freedom of speech, but where's my right? And, nobody will defend my freedom of speech. I mean, I get fired. I mean, one of my favorite is when I got fired for supporting Bobby Kennedy. Of course, they found another pretext. The pretext was that I had asked a manager. She told me that she was Hungarian. I mean, she's American, but from descent, she was Hungarian and American Indian. And I said, oh, what tribe, what region? And she took offense. And that was somehow being a racist slur, because I don't know, this was at work. We're in work, somebody's called away. So the conversation never progressed more than that. Next day I come in to work and I told I'm fired. Like that. Like that. You're fired. I said, what do you mean? And God, and this was 1 week after I had been originally hired by a manager, a woman who was going on maternity leave. And it was a couple of, maybe about a month before she was leaving on maternity leave. And she was a single mom and she was going on maternity leave. And so when she was going to come back, the like a couple weeks before she was supposed to come back, the assistant manager, a Latina woman, well, actually, her mother is white blonde American, her father's Latino, um, started sabotaging her, trashing her, bad mouthing her to management, got rid of her. She didn't like me para nada because I may not be Latina, but I was married to a Latino and a Spanish Latino. And I want to put the Colombians and the Spaniards in their place, and I'm with the same issues with them as I am with the Americans, the Anglicans, whatever you want to call us, WASP, Anglicans, whatever. So, I'm all over the map on that. Saying I'm not racist, not racist at all. You're pulling shit on me. You're pulling shit on somebody else. I'll come after you. I don't care what your race is, what your nationality. I'm not racist. Bullshit. I mean, I lived outside of the United States for 20 years. When I came back in 2009, I was like, I feel like Rip Van Winkle, who just woke up from a nap and said, what the frig has happened here? You people have gone off the rails and they keep on going farther and farther off. So, this, oh God, these people, they really pissed me off. So now I forget where I was going off on this time. So anyway, oh gosh, I had wanted to do this quickly, but I had seen these things and I had, I was so furious that, you know, just this poor woman. She has two small children. Can't there be some sympathy and some humanity out there? I mean, for just a couple of days, I don't know. Is that too much to ask? Really, poor Charlie. I mean, how can anybody see that and not agree that what he was, his message and what he was trying to say and do was right on target? Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. And Erika, anything I can do to help you. I see any witches going after you, don't worry. This old lady got your back.